Good evening and welcome to Martinsville Speedway, Martinsville, Virginia, for tonight's full throttle sim racing truck series action here on the Paperclip. My name is Brody Hanna. I'll be bringing you the action here tonight. I believe Dean Doucette's going to be joining me shortly as well, and we're going to be calling some great racing action here tonight from this tiny little track. One of my favorite tracks. There's a lot of history here. Never been here, but really want to visit here soon. A lot of fun to watch races on, and a lot of fun to drive as well. Got a little experience around here as well, but it is a tough track tonight. We're going to be watching some great action. All right, so where do we start? Let's start by bringing in my good friend, fellow broadcaster, Dean Doucette, join me in the booth. Dean, welcome to Martinsville. And we're working out a little few bugs here, so while we do that, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Right now they're in qualifying, so we'll get you those results in a second. But first, we want to show you something intriguing. After Talladega, after Kansas, I should say, things have really closed up in the points. As you see on the screen here, Brian Bliss is your points leader right now, still your points leader after Kansas. He had some bad luck at Kansas, but look how close these points are. You got David Hensley and Dustin Swingle only 3 points behind. Then you have 7 points behind. You have fourth and fifth, which is Jeff Bratt and Jason Spear. And only 11 points back is Brian Conklin and Sherwood Williford. Then 16 back in pairs, which is odd. Kevin Giadrasic and Mike Grandy. Kevin, after winning the race at Kansas, moves up to eighth in points. Mike Grandy in ninth, and John Boris rounding out your top 10. Only 22 back, still has a wide open shot. Because as you see, with the races coming up, November 1st, which is our next race, we'll be heading to Texas Motor Speedway, then over to Phoenix ISM Raceway, and rounding out the season at Homestead. So things have tightened up here, and just in time to close out the season. We're going to have an interesting, a really fun little points battle here towards the end. And I believe Dean should be all set up and wired up. Dean, yeah, we're here at Martinsville, ready for some great short track racing action. Still not getting anything, so we'll continue. We'll look at today's race analysis tonight. 125 laps for these trucks around this little paperclip track, 66 miles roughly. A little oval, half-mile oval. 17. That's incorrect. That is not 17 to 20 degrees. That did not get updated. It's a little flat track here. No more than probably 6 degrees, 5 degrees of banking. Estimated fuel window for the trucks tonight, 115 to 125 laps. They can make it on fuel. However, we do not expect the race to go that far without a caution, as close as these tracks are. In our previous winner, Justin Wilson, not here tonight. So we'll see a first-time winner here at Martinsville for the trucks. And we'll go ahead and jump to the keys of the race while they're finishing up qualifying. 3 keys tonight. Number 1, keep the fenders on it. You want to keep your truck clean and stay in contention. Keep all that downforce you can on the truck and be able to use that at the end of the race. Key number 2, track position. Track position is key. It's tough to pass around this little track. You want track position as much as you can to stay up front. Through pit stops and everything else, you want to start up front, stay up front. Qualifying is going to be important as well. And key number 3, the one thing that probably bites more drivers than not, stay calm. You want to remain calm in that truck. It's beating and banging short track racing action. It's tough. It's going to challenge you, and it's going to frustrate you at times, but you have to remain calm and keep your composure so you can edge out here at the end and be able to race with all your mental capacity there at the end, because it takes a lot of that here. And we are just running default iRacing weather, 78 degrees, partly cloudy in the afternoon, so no surprises there for the drivers. All right, I think qualifying's finished up, and we're going to go through the grid in just a second. They're still getting lined up on pit road, so as soon as we get that, all right, and we are about ready to go. let's run through tonight's starting lineup for the FTSR Truck Series. On pole with a lap of 20.174, that's going to be the Toyota of Brandon Elder, the number 51. Outside of him is somewhat newcomer to the league. Great run tonight so far with the second place starting position, number 64, Stephen Cox. Starting third, that's going to be the number 24, another guy that's shown a lot of speed here as of late, Derek Branham. And to the outside of him is a familiar face that's rejoining us tonight. That's going to be the 25 of Jason Gaines. Starting fifth is a familiar name. That's the 33. That's Sherwood Williford in that truck. And on the outside of him is going to be the 10 of Mike Grandy, points contender here tonight as well. Starting seventh, that's going to be the number 31 of Tony Shulman. Eighth on the outside of him is going to be the 7 of Dustin Schwingle. Ninth, you'll find last week's winner who dominated at Kansas. That's going to be Kevin Giadrasic in the 6th. And outside of him is going to be the 12 of William Long. Starting 11th, that's going to be the number 4 truck. That's going to be Brian Bliss. On the outside of him, Jeff Sharp. 13th is going to be the 37 of Brian Conklin. Outside of him is going to be the 9 of John Borst. 15th is going to be the 59. That's going to be Ralph Blair. To the outside of him, 16th is going to be Lane Allen in the 14. 17th is going to be the 43, David Hensley. To the outside of him is Jason Spear. 19th is the 83. That's going to be, actually 19th is Jason Spear. So the outside of David Hensley, I'm not sure that's going to be Richard Hines. Sorry, 19th is Jason Spear. 20th, Chris Hughes. 21st, you'll find TJ Bartell. Outside of him is going to be 22nd place, Kevin Cochran in the 80. 23rd, Andy Tico. 24th, Matthew Greiger. 25th, Sean Russell, Blair Stevenson, Charles Widener, Jamie Christensen, and Jeff Bratton will round out the field. And we're getting ready to go. I'm not sure if Dean's with us. Dean, are you with us yet? And he's not, but we are green. We're green flag racing here at Martinsville. You see the trucks getting spread out, and we've already got some pretty wide action, looks like, back there for second. Racing hot and heavy. You got to get that track position early. Nose to tail. The top 5, 6, 7, 8 are nose to tail already. Down the backstretch into turn 3. One thing we'll have to watch all night too is the different braking points. That's one thing with these guys. Everybody has a different braking point, and it's really tough when you're riding right behind somebody to make sure you stay off of them. It looks like we already have some black marks coming off turn 2, so we already had a little bit of a incident there, but everybody's still clean and green here. We've got 4 laps in the books of this 125 lap event. Brandon Elder continues to lead and actually pulled out a pretty sizable lead this early on to the 24 of Derek Branham there. And Stephen Cox has dropped a little bit to third place. A little side-by-side action here with the 4 of Brian Bliss, and I believe that is the 73 of Jeff Sharp. Jeff trying to make that outside work, and you can somewhat make that work sometimes if you're careful. A little more momentum up top, a little open it up. It looks like Jeff's actually going to make that pass on the outside, and then Brian Conklin's thinking the same thing. They're looking to the outside, and the 4 is going to close that door, and the 37 is going to look inside. Meanwhile, the 37 is going to be challenged by the 8 of Borst, or the 9 of John Borst there. A lot of close racing. He's going to look to the inside. He's got to run off that corner. He's going to be able to duck to the inside and take the preferred line into the corner. Meanwhile, back up front, 51 of Brandon Elder continues to lead. He's got a sizable lead on second place there, as you can see. Still just cruising around. He's about 2.5 seconds ahead of the 24 of Branham. Everybody just kind of getting their legs under them here. Doing a great job around this track. You see the 64 get a little loose off the corner there. And actually, it looks like the 64 is going to be under pressure by the 33 of Williford there in the yellow truck, 33. We can hop on board with 33 as he tries to make this pass. And there you heard the call. Our first caution of the night. Caution on lap 12. We'll see if we can investigate and find out what happened for you guys. Looks like the 29 was involved there. We went by the screen. All right, here we go. Off turn 4 here with 29. Looks like it just gets loose, gets a little tail happy. Chris Hughes in the 29 here, and just touches the inside wall there. That's not major contact, but unfortunately just got out from under him and was unable to hold on, and that's going to be our first caution of the night. We'll see if the guys decide to pit here, and they do. Some of the leaders are pitting already. Getting that pit stop out of the way. Like I said, the fuel window was really close, so these guys just electing to try to get it out of the way early and maybe stay out the rest of the race. Who knows?
Can you hear me?
All right, and we do have Dean Doucette up in the booth. Dean, first 12 laps caution free, and then we had a little action there, and we got some action off pit road as well.
Well, I'm having some multiple difficulties tonight there, Brody. It sounds like you got a good race going on, but unfortunately I'm stuck at the gate here and can't get in.
That's unfortunate. Somebody didn't pay their fee to get in. Maybe couldn't pay their ticket prices.
Something, I don't know. Just to go off script here, I have some truck race.
That would be because they probably have already started. I don't think it'll show up then. Only under maybe if you look as we see some of the cars. It's like some cars that going to the rear of the field. Not sure exactly what's happening here. But I believe it's you should be able to see it under the view if you watch the race instead of jump into the server.
I got something.
Roger that. Well, we just saw green flag pit stops for most of the leaders. However, we had a few stay out as well. We'll recap that as soon as they get lined up here. Looks like everybody's just trying to get in line in order here. And it looks like the top seven, no, 6, the top five cars here stayed out, and among them is the 33 of Sherwood Williford. Second, Dustin Swingle. Third, Brian Bliss. Fourth, John Borst. And fifth, TJ Wartell stayed out here. We're going back green here, and these guys have older tires. I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out for these guys. Coming through 3 and 4, waiting for the green. And the green flag's out, and we're back underway here at Martinsville. Lap 18 in the books. In turn 1, we got a couple teammates on the outside. We got the 4 looking on the inside of the 7, and the 98 inside the 9. Meanwhile, Sherwood got a great restart and is able to lead both lines here off of turn 4 to complete the first lap on the green here.
Caution, caution.
All right, and we have another caution. Another caution right off the bat. Looks like we had multiple cars involved in this one. We'll check a replay here and see if we can find out what happened for you guys. All right, it brought me to this. Let's see what happens here. Going through 1 and 2. Looks like there's a stack up in front. We'll see if we can find out what that was all about. Looks like it started maybe with the 64. Let's rewind that. All right, so from my vantage point, this looks like you get in the corner, and that's that braking point I was talking about, just different braking points. He checks up for the truck in front of him. The truck behind him doesn't quite check up enough, turns him around. It traps that truck. Looks like that's the 25, the 20. And anyway, it causes a big checkup. Almost clogs up the entire track. Some guys actually had to stop to miss this. But it catches the 75, the 59, 55. A lot of these guys. Big pileup in turn 2 there. No major contact, but just a lot of trucks having to take evasive action.
Well, Brody, we're finally in here now and just walked into the booth, and happy to finally be here with you and watch this race.
Well, we've had a great one so far up front. Like I said, we've got 5 guys right now that stayed out on older, well, let's say 15 lap tires. Really not older tires here. That's a short little track. But you got some guys on older tracks. It's a little different pit strategy for the 51 on back. Actually, the 24 on back. 24 Brandon was able to beat the 51 off pit road, so he's the first one on fresh tires. So I believe the top 4 now are the guys that opted not to pit on the first caution and to have stayed out here as well.
Yeah, well, the track position here at Martinsville, it's going to play really big, so this could be a good decision.
You're absolutely right, and that was one of the things. That's one of my 3 keys for this race is track position. It's like the 33 is taking a page out of that notebook there, and decided to stay out and lead this thing. Kind of stay out of trouble. I know, we talked about that before about, you get back there in the pack, and I want to say 5th and 6th is not that far back in the pack, but you get farther back, and you end up, well, we just saw a big pileup. I mean, you get yourself trapped back there, then you get in something like that, and your day just goes downhill completely.
Yes, it does. There's no doubt about that. A guy like Brandon Elder, I ran some with him there the other night, and he's incredibly fast here, but where's he going to go? You get too wide in front of you. He's going to have to look to watch these cars and not get into the back end of them.
Yeah, we talked about different braking points too, and that's one thing you have to cope with back there as well. But we're going back green here through 3 and 4, waiting for the green. Green flag's out, and the 4 of Bliss actually got a great restart there.
Yeah, Brian Bliss on the outside there trying to get that spot away from Sherwood Williford. Fantastic job. I mean, it looks like Sherwood is going to hold him off going into, 3 here.
Yeah, and honestly, we've seen some of the guys be able to make passes on the high side. You get that guy pinned down on the bottom, you can make some moves. And as I say that, it looks like the 9 of John Borst is able to take that position. I don't know, maybe the teammates working together there, but he's rolling around the outside really well, catching up to these guys.
Yeah, John Borst is another guy, extremely fast here at this track. You got to keep a close eye on him. But it's odd. You practice on this track, and you practice that low line. It's pretty much exclusively what you run. And come race time, the high line is actually pretty good here at this track.
Yeah, it's almost a product of being forced up there, being forced to choose a different line. And sometimes you'll learn something running up there, and as I say, it looks like the 33 caught the curve a little bit getting the corner, but everybody did a really good job there. And I'm telling you, the 4 is making some progress up there.
Yeah, the 4, Brian Bliss, the truck's points leader at this point. Doesn't particularly like this track, but as we know in the past, when he says he doesn't like the track, he's often one of the best trucks out there.
He threw it in turn 3, and yeah, he's doing a great job out there. You're right about, I've heard him say that about a couple different tracks. Seems to run well. Kentucky comes to mind. Didn't really care for Kentucky, but ran really well there and ended up winning. And he actually takes the lead on the outside, so new leader, the Ford, Brian Bliss.
Yeah, his attitude reminds me a lot of me and my father back in the baseball days. He used to get me as angry as possible, so I just hated it, and I'd often play my best. Seems like Brian Bliss has got the same disease.
You know what's funny too? I see him. He opted to stay up high when he got the lead too. He's not trying to get to the bottom. If you see him going in the corner, he's running that high line and he's making it work. That's good news for us. We're going to see some great racing, I think, because of that. And as I say that, 33 Williford's looking back inside of the 4 here.
Yeah, I think he's so aware of that run you get off. The passing on the inside is so difficult. We got caution on the track.
We do, and that looks like it involves some of the guys. Let's see, David Hensley, TJ Bartell, some of the guys. We'll see if we can pull it up for you guys. But
It'll
yeah,
be interesting here to see what the running order is there, whether Brian Bliss comes first or second. I think he'd prefer to be second. Yeah,
and
this is a type of track here at Martinsville where you're not going to get, extremely long green flag runs. It's just too tight a racing. And as you're looking over that, finding our replay for us, I see that both Sherwood Williford and Brian Bliss are going to duck into the pits almost alone. They're going to lose just a terrible amount of track position.
we're going to quickly look at this and we'll get to those pit stops as they have a long pit road. Going into turn 3, looks like the 31 and 14 may make a little contact. Maybe not. No, it's the 65. Just hauls off into the turn 3 and gets in the back of the 31, turns him straight around. And looks like everybody kind of weaves their way through here. But I do notice the 43 ends up getting involved here in something. So we'll go back to that shot.
Yeah, David Hensley. Where he's doing very well in this series too. I believe he's second in the point standing, so he won't be too happy about that, especially considering I think that's the 65 second incident of the night.
But the 43 gets turned by another guy there. We're having some issues with seeing the cars on the front stretch after the wreck, so I know he's not going to be very happy about that. And I believe TJ Bartell is right there with him as well as the 73.
And it looks like the pit stops are complete there with, I know Bliss and Williford and one or two others came in, but they're going to come out 9th and 10th, and they're going to be in a world of trouble now.
Yeah, they're going to be in the hornet's nest, as we say. And, that might have been their strategy all along. Those guys in front may have to pit again. They may not. We're not really sure. Depending on where the cautions fall, I think really depends on what these guys decide to do as part of the pit strategy.
Yeah, the pit strategy is simply a tire strategy because the gas, I think you could do the whole race on a tank of gas, so this is all about tires.
Yeah, we reported, I think, 115 to 125 laps on fuel, but we have enough caution laps here usually that fuel's not an issue for this short 125 lap race. You're right, though, it's tires. I mean, getting off the corner, accelerating off the corner straight as much as possible is key. The grip in the middle of the corner is key, so you're really wanting some tires when you can get them. But you don't want to sacrifice all that track position. As a matter of fact, we may even see some guys towards the end of this race elect to stay out. This is one of those tracks where you can actually stay out and do yourself a lot more good being up front with old tires than being in the back with new tires. You just can't pass.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be surprised if the leaders pit at all, even if there's multiple cautions. I don't think you'll see him come back in.
Well, Dean, we got
watch out for Brandon Elder, John Borst here.
I was going to say, we got a couple of teammates up front, the 9 and the 7 up front. This isn't a super speedway. This is far from it, but we're green flag racing here. And the two teammates are off, and 51 to 24 is going to be chasing them into turn 1, and we've got another caution right away.
Yeah, it doesn't take long here. It's very tight racing. Turn 1 can be hazardous. Be interesting to see who got involved in this one.
Back in the 95 of Widener, we're going to go back and see if we can find out exactly what happened. Because I don't think he even got to the green flag here. All right, here we go. Off turn 4. We're gonna show this right quick. Looks like he catches the curb in the middle of 3 and 4. Coming off turn 4 though, it just kind of loops around on him. Nobody around him, no contact or anything. Just kind of spins it out right off 4. So interesting there. I mean, it almost looks as something broke or something. I'm not really sure. That was an abrupt turn.
Well, you get hard on the brakes on entry. Unfortunately, I didn't see that what happened. But if it is under braking, the car will get awful squirrely on you, and if you overcorrect, you'll make a pretty abrupt move.
Well, we didn't even get it around the lap there, so I doubt we'll see any pit stops. But yeah, it's easy to do here too. Once you lose track position, there's even these trucks are kind of lower horsepower, but if you're not careful, you can really get that thing torqued up, and coming off the corner, it'll be a handful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking a look around here, just seeing if we got any movers. You got Will Long sitting in sixth now, started 10th. Brian Coughlin in seventh, he started 13th. Going a little ways back, you got Matthew Gerringer, currently in 14th position, started 24th. So there's a few guys making some moves under these cautions.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can almost pass people a lot easier. Well, it's not almost. You can pass people a lot easier and in the pits under caution than you can on the track usually. It's just hard to maneuver around here and make anything happen.
I mean, you take our two leaders, Dustin Schwindel and John Borst, started 8th and 14th, respectively, sitting first and second. Most of that was made up. I know they're both fast. They probably passed a couple of people, but most of it was by staying out. And then you got Brandon Elder sitting third, and the 24 of Derek Branham's having a nice race, sitting in fourth place.
Yeah, Branham actually started near the front, so he's maintained that position. But I'll say the 7 and the 9, the two teammates we were talking about, they haven't been to pit road yet. They have not yet stopped, and that may be part of the strategy is to stay out here early on, just stay out of the mess that's back there, take care of the truck, and then pit maybe around halfway, I guess. And or
I doubt you'll even see them come in the whole race. I think they've decided that tire wear is not that big an issue, and track position is just too important.
well, they're gonna give them the one to go here. We're gonna go back green flag racing in one lap, get the 95 pulled back around to the field, and we'll see how that plays out because the 51 and the 24 are on the same tire strategy, as well as the 10 of Mike Grandy, 12 Will Long, Conklin. We'll see if those new tires actually have anything on, newer tires have anything on the 7 or the 9. Well, they did pretty good on the last restart.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep an eye on the Lucky Dog race too, back in like 18th place as well. That should be quite a battle.
All right, they're coming through 3 and 4, waiting
Hey,
on the green
green
flag.
flag.
And we're underway again, and it looks like the 9 of Force gets a great jump. And it looks like he may actually take that position, a little teamwork action here. And as I say that, it looks like they're side by side again off 2.
Yeah, so much for teammate. I thought for a minute Dustin was just gonna let him go, being his teammate, and that John is extremely fast here. But hey, Mikey, he looks like he's
There
gonna
will
take the
be a
spot now,
caution.
and we got
Thank you.
another caution.
Yeah, I believe it's going to involve, I know for a fact, David Hensley, Ralph Blair, some of those guys had some issues. So we'll take a look at that right quick.
Yeah, that's right around that area I was talking about, at 18th place. I think some of those guys are fighting awful hard to get in that lucky dog position. And they must remember, though, if you're involved in any kind of the wreck in any way, you will not get the lucky dog. So we'll see who gets it here. I'm looking at Jason Games right now would be in that position.
We'll see if they're able to give it to him here. All right, we're going to just kind of cruise through here because it really didn't give me any indication of what happened here on this caution.
Yeah, so many cars, things happening so quickly. It's pretty hard to see all the incidents. But it looks
Oh,
like
I think I have it now. Looks like the 98 hot the curve going into 3 got everybody checked up, and the 83 gets in the back of, I don't know what car that is. As the checkup happened, he gets in the back of, looks like the 29? No. I don't want to falsely accuse somebody of something here, so I'm trying to work through here.
And just while you look at that, I'll just announce I believe the 29 car, Chris Hughes, is going to be our lucky dog here.
All right, so good. I didn't call him out. He called him out for a good reason, I guess. I'm not sure who that is. It looks like the 83 got in the back of the Logitech machine. That's the 59. Yeah, the 59 of Ralph Blair. Those guys. So that's what happened there. We'll watch it one more time here. Got some time under caution, so we're going to watch it. Just kind of a checkup, gets into the 59, and 59 goes around. We'll see if anybody else gets involved in this. He gets backed up across the track, and looks like he continues, so no issues there. So that's what happened. Not really a big wreck there, just kind of everybody kind of gets checked up and get bottled up
Oh, and
into the
wow.
corner.
Bad on both of us for not paying attention here, but looks like Schwindel and Boris came in and pit, and they're going to hand the lead back over to Brandon Elder and Mike Grandy. It's really surprising. From I didn't think they would have pit.
So mark it down, lap 47. The guys decide to pit here. That may be their only pit stop. I don't know. Just depends on cautions, I believe.
Yeah, it might be a good. I mean, yeah, I did going the whole way. It's a great call. It's very tricky. It's a hard decision to make here. But 47, maybe you get a caution on lap, 80 or something, and the other rest of the leaders got a pit. You don't. I don't know. Could be a good call.
All right, we're going back green here through 3 and 4, waiting on the green flag. The 51 takes the green. The 10 of Mike Grandy on the outside. That's going to be Elder and Grandy leading them into turn 1.
Yeah, watch out for Brandon Elder here if he gets clear. It looks like he's going to get clear. He is extremely fast here. He loves these short tracks. I'm going to look for him to pull a gap here, but Grandy's running pretty good with him right now.
Yeah, those guys have been pretty quick. And meanwhile, we got a heck of a battle back here for about 3rd, 4th, 5th on back. Saw some extremely tight racing back here.
Yeah, we got 2x2x2 back here. Very tight racing. Looks like you got Will Long there. And you got Brian Bliss is trying to work his way around the outside there. I think that's Tony Schoen that he's working around right now. Schoen got a little loose there trying to hold that inside.
Indeed it is. Schoen and Bliss side by side, and that's far as 6th place. So Bliss is kind of hanging around up there in the top 5. He's one of the guys that I would keep an eye on as far as making those passes on the outside. He's one of the guys I really saw be able to roll the outside. And there's another driver that I saw doing that as well, and that's the 73 of Jeff Sharp. So we'll have to keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharp, we know him. He'll inevitably work his way to the top 10, top 5, just quietly go about his business. It doesn't surprise me that he's been moving up all race long.
Yeah, Jeff's been fast. Like I said, a lot of these guys are fast. It's just hard to see it because there's nowhere to go. I mean, unless you can really roll the outside like we were talking about, there's no place to pass, which kind of leads to maybe a little bit of a bump and run. We've seen a lot of bumpers being used so far tonight, just not I don't think purposefully as of yet.
No, it's almost inevitable. I mean, guys work on it. They try not to do it, but it's pretty difficult. I'm taking a look back here, a little back in the pack here at this lucky dog fight with you got Richard Hines and Jason Games, and it looks like Games had to check up there, so it looks like Hines is going to be in that spot right now.
Yeah, we talked about Jason Games at the top of the broadcast, just returning to FTSR action after taking a quick break. He's one of the guys I've raced with a good bit, raced with him. Good to see him back, and hope he's having fun out there. Started 4th, I believe, tonight. And you saw the 64 maybe grab the wall off turn 4, and he made contact with Games.
Yeah, Games isn't having very much luck here. It looks like he's running fairly solid, but people around him are giving him fits right now.
Yeah, currently 18th and starting 4th. He's currently a lap down, so you're saying Looks like Stephen Cox and Richard Hines are ahead of him for the lucky dog position, so he's got some work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. He was right. He was racing Richard Hines tooth and nail, and he got a little involved in something, had to check up a bit. And right now, Hines could be comfortably in that spot. You know, I'm just taking a look back up front here with 51 of Brandon Elder, and he is just gapping the field. How impressive is this drive from him? He just loves these short tracks.
Yeah, he's completely checked out and did the same thing at the initial start. He was able to really gap the field pretty quickly there in clean air. Already a second and a half up on the 10 of Grandy in second. Derek Branham up to third in the 24, and Brian Conklin making his way up there too in fourth.
You know, going back to Elder for 1 minute there, I believe it was a cup race at Richmond, the last short track we were at. He was down 2 laps and then again down a lap, and he came back and won that race. That's how good a short track racer he is.
Yeah, he's really good short track. Had some tough luck in some of the series we've seen. So when things go right, though, he can really put a hurting on some of these guys out there. And we're seeing it tonight, up to about 2 seconds on the 10 of Grandy. And let's not let me mention too, Grandy is not a slouch either. He was our points leader for a long time in the series. So looking to get back to his form and fashion in second place. It's going to be a good finish time for him.
Yeah, Grandy's done a great job this year. He had bad luck at one of the races. He kind of set him back in points a bit, but he was the point leader. And if he's getting gapped like that, you know how fast Brandon is. So good job by Mike Grandy. You know, in third place, you got Derek Branham still, followed by Brian Conklin in fourth. And Will Long has worked his way up to fifth. Another guy quietly works his way through the field.
Yeah, we're on board with the 24 Branham. Just looking inside the cockpit, man. These guys, you never stop working. These straightaways are so short. These turns are so slow. There's a lot of G-force and a lot of turn you have to put into the wheel. So it's kind of a workout for these guys. They're going to do 125 laps. That's 250 times around these little turns. And just wait, because the Xfinity Series is coming up after this, and it's even longer than that.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are going to get a workout today. You know, right now we're on lap 65. What are we doing tonight? 125 laps. So we're a little over halfway here. And you know, I'm looking back at the 4 car right now. He's just running a comfortable line here behind William Long. Kind of settled in temporarily. You know, he was taking that high line, and I was kind of looking for him to be the mover towards the front here.
Well, he started 11th tonight, currently up to 6th, and he's just running a consistent, decent. Looks like he's moved back down the track now, moving to the bottom lane, and right behind Will Long, just kind of comfortable there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of make some moves here towards the end of this run, though.
Yeah, you know, not to jump around on you too much, but looking back at the 7 of Dustin Schwindel, and behind him his teammate of John Boris, and it looks like they've decided right now there's nowhere to go. I got a feeling, especially John, is just conserving those tires. That gap between him and Dustin Schwindel, I just know how fast John Borst is here. I think he's just saving a little bit so he doesn't have to pit if the caution comes out.
So those guys came out of the pits they were right around 12th and 13th, were they not? So I don't think they've made much ground up, if any, with those newer tires.
No, the new tires are absolutely have done nothing except for maybe allow them to, if they conserve enough and this goes on green, they might start to make up some spots. But I think what they're hoping for is there's a caution and then some of those leaders come back in, and I doubt they would again.
Yeah, we've been clean and green. We're on lap 70 of 125. Still a ways to go here, but you start thinking, you know, it's as we see the 9 of Boris looking to the outside of the 7, his teammate. You got to start getting a little anxious at this point if you're back here, because you know how tough it is to pass, and he's going to look to the outside of the 14 as well here. So.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think John's thinking, okay, we're not going to have a caution now that I'm playing this strategy. It's time to go. And just in front of him, someone doesn't get a lot of airtime. Lane Allen there. Looks like he's got some damage in the rear. That's not uncommon here, but he's having a decent run. Moved up from 16th up to 11th.
Yeah, we saw a little contact there off the corner too. It's easy to do. I mean, you're coming off the corner with a,
Oh, and someone's around.
oh, in front of the leaders and some of the leaders, and we.
Massive checkup, and that's going to allow Burst and Schwindel to gain a couple spots here.
Wow.
Someone got sideways. I didn't catch exactly who it was, but then when they got back on the straightaway, it just checked up that whole outside line. And that's going to bring Dustin Schwindel up to Sherwood Williford, another guy on fresher tires, trying to wonder if he can get his way through the field.
Yeah, I believe that was the 31 we saw sideways. I saw him get sideways into the corner. Ooh, we see some contact between the 9 and 33, I believe. But the 31 got, I don't know if he had help or not. We'll have to go back and look at it at some point. But the 33, sorry, the 31 got loose into the corner, looks like, and just slid for forever, I'm sure is what it felt like, and was able to gather it up. But it did. It checked everybody up, and that's brought the 9 of John Borst up to 9th place now.
Yeah, John Borsby, a guy to watch here. He's working on Tony Schoen now. Schoen's having a decent run, sitting in 8th, and just in front of him will be Geodricic, sitting in 7th.
Yeah, Kevin Geodricic, last week's winner. We got to talk to him finally in Victory Lane, the 6 truck. Was really awesome to see a new winner, a first-time winner in the FTSR Truck Series. Was really excited, and we were happy for him. And he dominated that race too. I mean, he was extremely fast there at Kansas.
Yeah, Geodricic, a fast driver, good driver. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised by how he dominated Kansas. What an impressive performance that was.
Yeah, he's having a solid run tonight too. As we see the 4 of Brian Blue starting to work that high side on the 12. But going back to Geodricic, he was really fast there and having a good solid points night tonight, up to I believe 8th in points. So he's looking to be in contention for that championship at the end of the season. Only 3 races away. 3 races remain to make that happen after tonight. So he's doing really well.
Yeah, and as you say that, Bliss did take that spot away from William Long, and he's on the outside of Brian Conklin now. Looks like he's moved back up the track, and I don't know why he abandoned it there for a bit, but I'm sure it was a strategic move. And he's going to take that place away from Conklin as well. They're going to start working on Derek Branham now.
And we saw the 10. Oh, we see contact.
Oh, boy.
I don't know how to call that, but they're 3 wide. 3.
Oh, and more contact. He just got into Branham. Branham's around. We're going to have a caution. There should be a caution.
Yeah, we got trucks sitting sideways. We got trucks stopped and still no caution, so not really sure.
Wow. Can't believe there was no caution called, but Brian Bliss there was working out, and now there's a caution.
Be ready with, there you go. Be ready with that brake lead and stuff, guys.
Brian Bliss was working the outside. He was doing a great job. Then he got loose, and then in the next corner he tapped Branham. Branham went around. I'm sure Branham is not going to be happy about this.
Yeah, and there was some contact leading up to that, and I don't think it was between the 4 and the 24. I think it was the 37, 20, and the 4 that had contact, and so there was a lot going on there, and a lot of question marks for me as to why there wasn't a caution sooner, because it looked like we had plenty of mayhem on the track for a caution.
Yeah, it was a strange, slow caution. I think that was a bit of one of the guys involved was having some computer issues and blinking a bit, and maybe it just didn't trigger it in time.
Actually, it was the 24. So we're going to go back to turns 3 and 4 here and show you the whole thing. So through 3 and 4, he gets the outside, kind of pinches the 24 down just a little bit. They make contact, and it turns the 4 sideways. The 24 and him make contact. They kind of get it straightened up. Everybody keeps going here, and it allows the 12 to go to the inside of both those guys. They get into turn 1 here, and they're 3 wide, and that's never gonna never gonna work. The 4 makes contact with the 24 again, and this time the 24 spins it up high and in front of looks like the 37. And eventually the 24 was the cause of the caution because he was sideways when the leaders came through.
Yeah, unfortunate incident here at Martinsville. I'm sure there'll be some upset people about that one. But looking at the pit stops, we had pit stops here, and I know Brandon Elder came in. Several cars did not, and we're going to see where he cycles through. Somewhere around 6th, 7th place is where he's going to end up.
And we're going to fast forward to his pit stop here. He did come in the pits, took tires and fuel, and we'll see where he shakes out here.
It looks like Hensley here is moving up through not pitting. I don't know if he's getting a lap back. Could be on a wave around. Looks like he might be. It looks like Cochran, Spear, Games, Hensley are all on wave arounds. And that'll bring you back to Brandon Elder.
Yeah, that's actually correct. Yeah, the 43 was a lap down technically by staying out. He's into the lead lap. He's going to take a wave around here, get back on the lead lap. Like you said, fighting for a championship. Was 3 points behind Brian Bliss when they came into the evening here. So wants to get everything he can. So it looks like all the guys pitted and they come out relatively where they were running. One guy I do want to note is that 12 truck in the inside. Okay, we had some contact there, but the 12 truck on the inside's moved up to third. Keeping an eye out for Will Long here as we get ready for a restart.
Yep, Brandon Elder will bring us back to green here, and Will Long will have the inside. We'll see what happens.
Green flag's out. We're back underway, and the 10 truck actually gets a great start as well, but the 51 is going to lead them into turn one.
Yeah, I think if you want anything to do with Elder, you better get him right now, and I think he's already got a boat ready to check out.
Yeah, leaving him out front, it was going to be tough to catch. Oh, we see some contact back there between the 10 and the 12.
Yeah, there's contact there. There's contact with the 4 again. He's working that outside. Oh, and he threw it in there deep, and he's high. That might allow John Boris to come into second place, and he might be the only guy who's got something for Brandon Elder. A lot of stuff going on there.
We're going to check the replay here and see if we can find out what the caution was for. We saw a lot of action there getting into the corner. Looks like it involved our friend, the 87 of Richard Hines here.
Yeah, you never like to see Richard involved. Really clean racer, great guy.
Yeah, here we go. Into turn 3, a little bit of a checkup. Checks up to the 24, jumps the curb, and the 64 is unable to avoid him making that correction, and then gets into the 29, and then into a car bypassing him as well, and just kind of spins it in turns 3 and 4. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Looks like he was checking up, trying to keep from getting into somebody, and still made contact with somebody else. Catches pieces of 43 as he comes by as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to describe what I'm seeing right now. It's a little bit of over-aggression here. Not surprising. It's hard to make moves. You got to do it early, but there's a lot of tempers starting to boil over. We got another race after this as well, and I would imagine a lot of these tempers are going to carry over into the next race.
Yeah, it's usually the same group of guys that race this race and then go to the Xfinity cars. And you're right. I kind of wonder how that's going to carry over for that race as well. Hopefully the things kind of calm down between now and then, but that's usually not the way it works here on short track racing.
Interestingly, John Boris and Dustin Swindler are up in third and fourth, and I believe they're on the fresh set of tires last pit stop. So I'm not sure how they made up all those spots. Just incidents, people getting sideways, over aggression has allowed them to slip back up here. And I believe Boris, like I was saying, is the only guy who's even got a shot at Brandon Elder. So it's good to see him up there now.
Well, we saw the 10 and 12 make contact right there before the caution came out. And they got everybody checked up, and I believe those guys were able to sneak by when all that happened. So that was fortunate on their part, able to get by and kind of move themselves into contention here. But unfortunately, the 12 truck and the 10 truck have relegated themselves to 5th and 7th now, with Brian Conklin in there as well. And honestly, they almost getting into turn 3 or turn 1 after that, and they were 3 wide, and then the caution I think saved them. So.
Yeah, interesting race we got going here. You know, some of our movers of the night would be Brian Conklin up into sixth now. Other than that, it's Sean Russell, someone who we haven't talked about too much, and Jamie Christensen started 25th and 30th respectively. I know Sean Russell has worked his way up to 12th. Looks like Christensen's back in the pits, I think. So he might have been the lucky dog there.
As this race winds down there, you have some of the hard hitters showing up at the front now. You got the high side uh, master, the four truck out there, Brian Bliss starting on the outside. Then you got John Borst behind the guy that's dominated all night, Brandon Elder, and we're waiting on Green. Green's out. We're back underway here at Martinsville.
Well, Bliss got a really good start there, and he's going to throw it in deep once again, too deep, and that's going to allow Borst by. We're going to have ourselves a little fight here with Borst and Elder. Oh, and someone's into the inside wall.
So right
Back
off the
about
start.
12th, 15th place, somewhere in there, someone got loose and got into the inside wall.
Fortunately, that's going to be our guy in the 12 we were just talking about. Will Long comes off the turn, and the 7's looking on the inside of the 4, and the 12 doesn't know that, I don't think, and bounces off the 7 hard into the inside wall, ends up backwards down the backstretch. Everybody able to avoid him. They actually did a great job there. But unfortunately, that's going to put the 12 to the back with only 30, what is it, 35 to go when we get back Green? No, maybe 30.
Uh, yeah, under 30 laps left. Be about 28 left when we go green, 27, something like that.
Yeah, so that's actually it's going to take this opportunity to pit. Heavy damage. Probably took himself out of contention there with that incident. Just a lot going on. Everybody battling for everything that they can, and a little three wide action off too, and that'll catch you every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking a looking around at a few guys. The guy that stands out to me, Jason Spear here. He's, been quiet all night. I haven't heard much from him. We haven't seen him involved in any of the wrecks. He probably has got involved in something. It is Martinsville, but he's worked his way up to 13th, and it's a pretty solid night so far.
Yeah, if you can come away without somebody being mad at you or you being mad at somebody at Martinsville, I think you're doing something right. So if that's the case, we haven't seen him. We saw him involved in one incident, but that really was a checkup. And but other than that, looks like his truck's in pretty good shape. Like I said, if you come out here without making any enemies or being frustrated at somebody, you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's not easy to do. I don't see too many cars that don't have either a front end or a back end, or as we like to say, some front end damage in the rear end.
Yeah, indeed. That's it's easy to get that here, especially with the different breaking points we were talking about. You'll see guys all the time having issues with adjusting to different people's breaking points. Speaking of that, it looks like the 10 of Mike Grandy is able to move back up to third position after the 4 had some issues, so that's going to move Mike Grandy up there. And let's not forget Sherwood Williford running back in sixth, just kind of quietly running. I thought he was going to be higher than that. I thought he had the 5th place, but the caution came out. And so let's not forget him as well.
Yeah, Sherwood seems to me, to be more of an Xfinity driver or a Cup driver, but his temperament and his way of driving in any vehicle, you're going to see him towards the front near the end of the race.
That's key number 3 for me. Keep your cool. It really matters towards the end of these races. And we're going to see how cool the Ford car can be after that little scrimmage. We're waiting for the green. Green flag's out. You got the 51 of Brandon Elder and the 9 of John Borst lead them into turn 1.
Yeah, John Borst on the high side here. He's gonna hold on to the outside line here. He's got something for Brandon Elder. Here we go, coming down into 3. Borst high, Elder low.
Wow. So yeah, he's able to hold the high side. Looks like the 51's trying to clear him off the corner. Just can't quite make it happen.
Wow, what a great job by John Borst here, hanging with him. Oh, and he's just a nose away from grabbing the lead away from Brandon Elder. We're at the caution.
Well, we shouldn't have spoke so early because it looks like the 83 of Jason Spear was involved in this last one.
Well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. We put the old broadcast curse on him. That's
Boy,
unfortunate.
this one looks like a big one too. And yeah, Borst didn't have anything to do with the start of it. We're gonna show you the start of it here, and it gets ugly real quick. So you may want to cover the children's eyes here. So we're gonna roll the tape here, and they're 3 wide, almost 4 wide coming out of turn 4, and that's never a good thing. It's like the 6 makes contact with the 11 of Geiger, and the 6 goes flying, and the 11 goes flipping down the front stretch.
Oh
And
boy.
and the 11 ends up on his side on the pit wall, so he's not going anywhere. And actually, 83 had to make an unscheduled pit stop. That's why he was back there. So he was not involved in this wreck. Actually, great timing for him because I believe he may be able to stay out, um, and or come back out, maybe still be on the lead lap. The 11, yeah, the 11 ends up on pit road, and that's gonna relegate him to the back as well as the 6 of Giadricic, last week's winner.
You know, I'm looking at another guy, David Hensley. He's on the lead lap currently, sitting 16th. Now, I don't know if he came into pit. Yes, he's in the pits right now. This is his chance to get some fresh rubber. He still will be sitting 16th. Great call by him to come in and get that fresh rubber, last guy in the lead lap.
I know he's also fixing some damage there too, so good call for him. Kind of fix that truck up a little bit. Just at this point, you're just taking what you can get out of the truck and out of the finishes. The end of this race may be a little crazy, so you want to prepare yourself for it, and so that's a good call.
But up front there, that was a hell of a job by John Borst. We didn't think anybody could hang with Brandon Elder today, but he was doing a great job on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like if you could pin the 51 down, you had a chance at him, and that's good news for the 9. Good news for the 4, although the 4 is now dropped back to 5th place after all that, so he's going to have some work to do if he wants to have a say in this.
Yeah, that's something that you brought up. Is with Hensley, we were talking about Hensley there. At this point, you just kind of gotta take what you can get. And these guys, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, in that range. Well, everybody, but those guys in particular, might have to just accept their fate here. You're not going to win the race, and trying to be over aggressive could cost you everything.
Well, I'll say this: if these guys can't make these last 25 laps work, we'll be running over into Xfinity time, and that's not good for them. They need that practice. So I think everybody's kind of got on their mind now. They're going to have to settle in, kind of get strung out, and then make happen what you can. At least, from like you said, 5th on back, you have to kind of accept what you got, or else you're never going to make it. But the guys up front, they're going to fight hard here. As pace car pulls off, we're going to try this again.
All right, here we go. Brandon Elder on the inside, John Borst on the outside.
Green flag's out. We're back in the way, and Borst gets a great jump on this start. Very good start for him.
John Borst, that was a fantastic start there. He couldn't have done much better. They're going to race coming down into 3 here. John Borst with a slight advantage.
Boy, I didn't think anybody really had anything for the 9.
Caution.
And back in the pack, we got another incident.
You'll take a Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
Looked like Jamie Christensen maybe got involved in that one. I'm not sure about that, though. This is really unfortunate because we got a hell of a battle up front here, and that's Martinsville.
Yeah, it's another pretty big wreck back here, it looks like. A lot of guys involved. And you're right, we're going to focus in on the 88 of Christensen. Going into turn 3 here. Looks like he gets on the brakes, and it turns sideways, and he tries to correct it, ends up in the wall, and it comes down right in front of, oh man, Will Long in the 12. And looks like the 28 and a couple of other guys also got involved there. Just nowhere to go. I mean, he went nose first into the wall, bounced that back out into traffic, and looks like the 43 of David Hensley also got a little piece of that too. So
Yeah, this is this is the type of race of these short tracks at Martinsville like this, where we start restarts, restarts breed restarts, and these guys are gonna have to have short memories. You're gonna have to go have yourself a drink after this race and shake it off and just hit the delete button on it, because a lot of people are gonna be angry.
Dean, you said you want to take a drink after this race, but don't you take a drink, and I hope these drivers don't take a drink, because coming up next, the Xfinity Series for Martinsville is coming up as well. 150 laps, I believe, for these guys around this little tight paperclip. Actually, maybe 175. I'll double check that. But we're gonna put on our big boy pants here in the Xfinity Series and see if we can get it done. Maybe with a little bit less, fewer cautions, a little bit fewer incidents here, and see if we can put on some sort of a show, man. It should be fun with these cars. These cars usually do not come to Martinsville, and we'll see what they bring.
Yeah, I ran a few laps in them, Brody, and to my surprise, the Xfinity car, which is not really known for its ability to turn, it's a pretty tight car usually. It turns fantastic here at Martinsville, and it really runs well, so it should be a good race.
Well, that's good to hear. And like I said, it'll be a little bit later in the afternoon too, so you'll see a little bit longer shadows, a little more grip in the track. So we should see a pretty good race with those guys. Looking forward to it. Meanwhile, let's not forget we got a little race going on here. They're going to get the green, I think, with 11 laps to go here. And if John can get the same restart he just got, he's got a chance for this one.
Yeah, he does absolutely. He's shown if he can stay on that outside going into one and then pinch him down, he's got a good shot.
All right, we're about to see it. They come through 3 and 4. We're waiting for the green flag.
Green flag.
And green flag's out, and that's going to be close with John on that restart. He was awful close to being in front of the 51.
I think that's
Oh, shit. Save.
yeah,
Save.
we got another
Save.
caution.
Oh, it's your car.
I was gonna say, Brody, that is to me, it can't be. It's not an exact science, and that although it's a rule, it's some of these high lines you just get a little bit of a better run, and as long as they sort it out by corner one, I say no harm, no foul.
Well, let me ask you this, and we'll go watch the replay here in a minute. Let me ask you this. If you're the 51, do you like seeing these restarts because you're on the inside, or is it just nerve-wracking? You'd rather just see it go green? Because we've seen John have some speed here.
Well, if I was the 51, now we're not talking about me being in the 51 car. If I was actually Brandon Elder, because he's so damn fast, I'm hating these because I mean he had at one point a 7, 8, maybe larger second lead than that, and he's just dreading these the way Boris is running them on the outside. So
We're watching the replay here. It looks like the 37 looked to the inside of that is the 31, and as we back it up here, the 31 started coming down, so the 37 tried to check up. Well, the 73 didn't have time to check up, got into the 37, which pushed the 37 into the 31, and then the 14 ends up getting into the 73 and turning him around. Just a chain reaction thing. It's a accordion effect here. We see it really often in the corners in this at this track.
yeah, it's there's not much room for error here. One guy gets loose or whatever, you check that whole line up, and it's just it's beyond accordion. It's like a slinky. They all they're all banging into each other.
Yeah, that's what happens. Everybody checks up, and you hope you're not the one to spin. It's really tough. You don't want to be the guy to get into the guy in front, but if you don't go, the guy behind you is going to take you. So you're in a tough spot.
Yeah, you are. It looks like we got a couple of guys on a wave around here. Tony Schoen, Jeff Sharp. Tony Schoen, it's funny that he got involved in that because I was just going to bring him up. It looked like he got the broadcast curse just from my mind, let alone my words.
Yeah, it's tough to see that too. These guys go this long without any incidents, and then something happens at the end. It's really frustrating. You've kept your truck clean the whole race. You did everything you need to do, and then 10 laps from the end, something happens. I can imagine it's really frustrating.
So what about that NASCAR there, the 21 of Sean Russell? You know, he's had some great finishes lately. He's probably, I don't know if people like being called this or not, but I'm going to call him our most improved driver this season. He's doing a great job, up from 25th all the way up to 7th.
Yeah, I was just going to say started 25th position. Great job to move up to 7th. Got some wrinkles in the fenders there on that truck. It looks like it's been used up, but that's a typical Martinsville car here. Used everything as much as he can and still has some speed in the truck, so that's a good job. Sean Russell from Ohio doing a great job for the state of Ohio.
Yeah, it's too bad they weren't drafted the way these front ends fit into the back ends now.
Yeah, and there's a reason why they're like that, because the front end's been in the back end. So yeah, it's it definitely fits, but not by design. That's not the way the truck showed up to the track for sure.
Certain to think these are puzzle pieces they got to fit together.
Well, we're gonna see if they can figure this puzzle out. We're
Green
coming to the green
flag.
flag with what is that? 6 laps to go, and the 9
Yeah,
gets another great start.
that time was, yeah. You might have someone on the review tape on that one. He best be giving that spot back, I think.
Well, they're gonna fight it out here and let that fall where it may, I guess.
I
Clear
mean,
to the
you might
side.
as well at this point. John Moore's doing a great job on the outside. We'll hope that doesn't affect him, but he's almost gonna clear Brandon Elder there. I think he might have it.
He did. He's cleared him down the backstretch. And the question is, does he pull down? No, he's going to stay up high. He's going to stay where it's working.
I don't imagine Brandon Elder's too happy about that start. Now let's hope he's got a cool head under him and realizes that there'll be people looking at that tape and decisions will be made. But if not, he might just get up to that bumper and give him a boot because he's not going to appreciate that none too much. And John
No,
Boris drifts up high. He's going to lose that spot right now.
he does. He goes through 3 and 4 and pushes up high. Wow. That allows the 51 to go right under him. And we're going to have a battle. This is 3 to go at the line here. So this race is about to be finished. These guys have really got to settle this in a hurry.
Yeah, John Boris has lost that spot now. Brandon Elder with some clear track. I look for him to now gap John slightly. He's just too good when he can work that car all the way out to the wall.
Well, now 1.5 laps to go. No mistakes for the 51. That's what he needs. And the 9 truck needs to hope for a mistake. It looks like he's going to be under attack by his teammate, the 7. Dustin Swingle not ready to give the second position back. But it's white flag. 1 lap to go for Brandon Elder in the 51 machine.
Brandon Elder, the class of the field tonight. I'm glad he hung on. I'm glad he got that spot back. He's deserved this race win. He's been the class of the field. This will be his second short track win of the season. Different cars, maybe, but a great job by Brandon Elder.
Off turn 4, Brandon Elder takes the checkered flag for the first time in the FTSR Truck Series and takes home the win at Martinsville Speedway tonight. Great job by him. A great race, all race. Way to keep his head on him. And kind of stayed calm when he got a little charge, a little pressure from John Boris, was able to charge back by him and take home this win tonight.
Yeah, it was just fantastic race by him. You know, your top 5 here be Brandon Elder, John Boris, Dustin Schwindel, Mike Grandy, and Brian Bliss. Well, it was a heck of a race. I mean, you expect cautions, maybe not that many, but it was interesting. It was definitely entertaining to watch.
Well, Dean, I don't think he put a scratch on that truck until the burnout. I think he just took the corner off the truck there on the front stretch and a little celebratory and honestly well deserved. Great performance tonight by him for sure. We're going to show you your top 10 here tonight at Martinsville. Like we said, Brandon Elder taking home the win in the 51, the Toyota. The Chevy of John Boris, the number 9, finishes second. Teammate number 7, Dustin Swingle, in third. Fourth is Mike Grandy in the 10 machine. Good points run for him, as well as Brian Bliss in the 4 behind him in the Toyota. Sixth place is going to be Sherwood Williford in the 33. Just hung around all night in the top 10 and able to get a solid finish. Seventh place, we were talking about him, Sean Russell, up to 7th. Great run for him. Brian Conklin, Lane Allen with a great finish in ninth, and Jason Games has returned to FTSR, nets him a 10th place finish in the 25.
Yeah, nice to see a new name up there, or an old name returning in 10th place. In 11th place here, you got the 80 of Kevin Cochran and David Hensley. He'll come home 12th in that 43 car, and that's a good recovery from him. Great job. In the 13th place will be the 83 of Jason Spear, followed by the 64 of Stephen Cox. A pretty decent finish after outside pole starting position. He'll finish for 14th. Andy Tico will come home 15th. Jeff Sharp will come home 16th. Tony Schoen in 17th. Richard Hines 18th. Derek Branham 19th. Ralph Blair 20th. Will Long in 21st. Jamie Christensen 22nd. And Charles Widener, Kevin Diadricic, Matthew Geringer, Chris Hughes, Blair Stevenson, Jeff Bratton, and TJ Bartel will round out your field.
Well, it was a tough fought race tonight at Martinsville in the trucks. When we get back, we're going to talk to our winner as well as the top two, the top three finishers. We'll get their takes on how the race unfolded, what happened during their races, and get some more details right after this here on Full Throttle TV. Back here at Martinsville Speedway for the FTSR HostGator Truck Series presented by Full Throttle Television. And I've been able to catch up with our third place finisher. Let's see if we can talk to him. Dustin Swingle. Great job tonight, man. The great rebound to third place. We weren't sure you were going to be able to make it back through the field after that pit stop, but you guys did a well of a job, you and your teammate both.
Yeah, Brody, I tell you what, it was a crazy race. I know there's a lot of cautions. Fortunately, I think both me and John were able to avoid most of them, and I think that definitely helped us work our way back up through the field to get to the front.
Well, that was one thing me and Dean were talking about is the abundance of cautions, several cautions tonight. Kind of slowed the pace a lot, and I don't know if it helps. Did it help or hurt you guys trying to come up and through the field? Because I know there was some contact that you guys were able to avoid, some little incidents that you were able to avoid and make your way up. But did the cautions help or hurt your progress?
I think that's still up in the air. I'll have to probably go back and watch the broadcast to determine that for in whole. I got out of the truck and looked and had a lot more damage than I thought I did, so I did get tangled up in a bit, but didn't really seem to hurt it at all. Was still able to make up some ground on that outside.
Well, and I got to ask you this too, as far as the pit strategy, and we're going to probably talk to the other guys about this too. Did you guys plan kind of okay? Well, I need a one stop race, and I want to stop around certain laps, or did it just depend on where the cautions fell?
No, we came into the race with a plan, kind of deviated from it a little bit, but I'm kind of glad with how it worked out. Stopping a little bit later than everybody else, and then we did end up coming in another time, but ultimately I think it was the best one for us.
Well, truck doesn't look too bad, Dustin. I don't believe you've made anybody mad, or you're not mad at anybody. I'd consider, like I said, that a success at Martinsville. Congratulations on your third place finish. I'm going to give you the mic, and I want you to, give your shout outs. Thank the guys out there that's watching.
Yeah, thanks. Got to thank Full Throttle TV for bringing the race to the fans, FTSR for holding the show tonight. Got to thank my sponsors, Line & Kugels, Johnsonville, and my teammate and all the guys back at the shop.
All right, and that's your third place finisher, Dustin Swingle, bringing home a truck. Not looking too awful bad, Dean. And I believe you've caught up with a teammate that maybe the truck looks pretty similar down there.
Yeah, I'm here with John Borst, our second place finisher tonight, and the only challenger really to Brandon Elder. John, second place. Great night for you tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Kind of screwed up pit strategy and had to work my way from the back, but truck rolled pretty good. I seemed to be one of the few that could actually run the top, which was nice. But Brandon was tough, and I got out in front of him, and then I forgot how to run the bottom.
Yeah, that'll happen, changing lines. It's funny how you say screwed up pit strategy. Your teammate says it was mostly, predetermined. You guys had already kind of worked out a strategy. Talk about, you put it on lap 46 and you got back there, I don't know, around 12th, 13th place. And you kind of backed off, it looked like to me. And I thought, John's probably saving a little, even though he's got fresh tires, he can't get through this much traffic. Maybe he's hoping for a long run here and he's just conserving. I'm not sure if that was accurate or not.
No, I think I actually drove harder when I was in the back than I did when I was up front, and it's just because you'd have so many guys that would kind of run in the middle between the two groups, so you couldn't make anything happen, so you were just stuck there. And it was just it just felt like a parade for the longest time. So as soon as I got the opportunity to sneak it on the inside when some of those cars got tangled up on the outside in turn 3 and 4, I believe, I took it just knowing I wasn't going to get the track position back racing it.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of track position here, we were watching the restart there, last two restarts. Now, you got a bit of a jump on the second to last one on Brandon. And on the last one, you got a really big jump on him. And, we were speculating as to whether there was, tire spin at play or were whether you were jumping or not. I think the officials might be looking at it. From your point of view, what happened there?
I actually talked about it with Brandon after the race because I knew it was close, but it was he was starting in second gear, I was starting in third, so I wasn't getting any of the wheel spin that he was, so I could just keep the power down all the way through. And I think I just get that big pull right away when he was trying, because in second gear at pace speed, you were about 7,500 RPM, so you were almost shifting the second you put the gas down anyway. So I was just skipping that step.
Right. Well, interesting, because we just seen you get such a good jump, but when you were running with him, start aside, you got on the outside of Brandon. You actually cleared him for a bit there, and I knew you were fast here, but with Brandon being so fast, I was quite shocked there. That was a great job. Just you lost it a little bit in the one corner, pushed up high, and it kind of cost you that spot. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, after running the top for what felt like an hour there on all those restarts, I just screwed up my braking point when I finally got the opportunity to go to the bottom, and I wheel hopped the right rear, and it just slid up the hill, and I had to more or less just wait for it to settle down before I could get back on the gas. And by the time I got it squared away, Brandon was about to my fender, I think, and at that point it's going to be hard to race them off the corner because you get such a good entry on the bottom compared to the top.
Yeah, for sure. Well, John, that was it's a great finish. You're extremely fast. We were quite impressed with your racing here tonight. And as we do, the floor is yours. You want to give any shout outs, thank some sponsors, anything you'd like. It's all yours.
First and foremost, good win, Brandon. He held serve pretty well tonight. Thanks to Dustin, my teammate, for keeping me in it, and he ran pretty good tonight too. So kudos to him. Thanks to you guys for streaming the race, and thanks to FTSR for giving us a place to show what we can do.
All right, that's John Boris, your second place finisher. And Brody, that was a heck of a race for him, and he was challenging Brandon Elder. I believe you caught up with our race winner, Brandon Elder. You got him, Brody?
Yeah, I'm down here with Brandon. He's already changed his fire suit, getting ready for the Xfinity race. Kind of a abbreviated victory lane, but I'm sure you want to soak this one in, Brandon. Congrats on the win tonight, man. A dominating win. Great job.
Yes, it was really good. You know, I knew I had a good truck, but I didn't realize how good it was actually going to be on a long run because I didn't do a whole lot of long runs, but it prevailed about halfway through the race of how good it really was on the long run.
Yeah, we saw that when we got a couple laps in her. You were able to pull out a second and a half, 2 seconds pretty easily, pretty early on in the runs, and we were pretty amazed by that. The fact that nobody it seemed like nobody could really hang with you, but those late race restarts, man, they had to give you headaches there at the end.
They did because I kept spinning the tires every restart. In the last two or three with John to the outside, I was really afraid that he was going to get by getting into one, and he eventually did get by, but he overdrove three and slid up just a little bit, which opened the door and was able to get back under.
Yeah, we talked about it's one of the three keys I talked about is keeping your head cool, keeping a cool head. You make it, and I know from experience, so I'm not talking about you. You make a mistake on a restart or on the track or something like John did, or even you on the restarts. Kind of walk us through how do you get yourself back focused? You have to go back to, okay, I know I'm fast, I know I can do this. I just got to focus on what I'm doing and quit making mistakes. What's your process to kind of get back in the mindset you need to be?
Well, at a track like Martinsville, you don't have a whole lot of time to make that decision. You literally have a couple seconds and you're right back in the corner. So you really, especially on a restart, so you have to really be able to say, okay, let's calm down. Let's make sure we make this corner. Let's not overdrive it and lock the brakes up and slide up and wreck the entire field. I mean, it's I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to get back in the mindset. And once he got past me, I was sweating bullets. I was like, caution's gonna come out. He's gonna beat me.
Yeah, that's another thing. A caution at the end could have really shook things up there too. It's another thing I didn't really think about. You're right about that. Well, Brandon, listen, you did a great job out there. Led most of the laps. I mean, a good chunk of the laps for sure. And we're able to kind of keep a cool head, stay calm, keep the fenders on the truck, all the things you need to do, and we're able to take the 51 Toyota to victory lane tonight for your first truck win of the season. It's got to feel good. So, Brandon, we're going to give you the mic, and I want you to, if you need to, thank your sponsors, give shout outs, let the guys know watching how you feel. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, we had a great truck. No doubt. The Traxxas Toyota was amazing, and I mean that's about it. I mean it was really a good truck. I mean, shout out to Dean and Lane and Biggie and all those guys, that's on the team, that will, they give pointers in practice. People may not pay attention to a lot of what they say or think people's not listening to them, but people do. They talk about backing up a corner or something. You listen. You learn things and you use it. To your advantage later on, even if you're on the same team or not on the same team or whatever. But uh, I guess I need to hurry up and get in here so I can run a couple laps in this Xfinity car, though.
I hear it, Brandon. Well, congratulations on your win tonight. Good luck in the Xfinity race, and we'll be watching for you.
All right.
Well, Dean, that was your winner tonight, the 51 truck, Brandon Elder, hurrying to the Xfinity garage because you got to get in that car and get ready to go. But man, he mentioned that about the team, and that's one thing I didn't realize. The whole team actually did really well tonight. You had Brian Bliss making the outside work, and the 14 of Lane Allen able to come home with a solid finish tonight as well.
Yeah, happy for Lane. Of course, Brandon with the win. Brian Bless is going to come away maintaining his points lead, I believe. He had a bit of a rough night, so we'll see if there's any infractions there. But all in all, those three guys had a great night indeed. And Brandon Elder, nobody did it better tonight. Great win from him.
Yeah, I was saying the team, all three trucks in the top 10, actually Lane ninth, Bliss fifth, and Brandon coming home with the win. So that's a great job. You're right. And you're right about the points, and he's right about the fact that we need to hurry up because we have another race coming up in 10 minutes. So we're going to say goodbye here from Martinsville Speedway. We thank you guys for hanging with us. We had a few issues to start with and a lot of cautions to deal with, a lot of wrecks, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But until next time, which is 9 minutes from now, we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.